Love, peace, and harmony.
Love, peace, and harmony.
Vereinigt Herzen und Seelen.
L'amour baby harmony.
Pag-ibig, kapayapaan, harmonia. मुझे प्रेम मेरे सारaf
Unei doar kecilnya sini.
Bondro hati nakra kumakandra. Udoro garen ekşisi ziralu. Amor vazia
আমি আমার মনো আশাকে ভালোবাসি।
Ik hou van alle mensen.
Sagitoen e quamio vigitoen.
Ai hewa so shite chowa.
E aloha mai iapo.
amo tutta l'umanità.
And not the gypsy
Sarang yang hajua. Rakas rau haya harmonia.
Welcome, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Terry McGill. I've studied with Dr. and Master Sha since 2008, when he literally saved my life. And I figured I better stick around, find what else he knows, see if it'll come in handy. And it did. So the biggest issue for me was, and still is at times, stress. There's physical stress. There's spiritual stress. There's emotional stress. And it's all pretty much the same. Stress is when our body is out of balance. If you're familiar with traditional Chinese medicine, there are 5 elements, and each of those elements has an unbalanced emotion or several. With the wood element, that's anger and all of the derivatives. I used to say, I'm not angry, I'm just irritated. And of course, everyone knew I was angry. Then there's the fire element, the imbalanced emotions, plural. One is yang, and that's the anxiety. And the other is yin, and that's depression. The earth element, the imbalanced emotion, is worry. And of course, all of these have other names and different ways that we think about them, different levels. Then there's the mental element, and there's two there also, grief and sadness. And I used to think they were the same, but they are not. And the fifth element, water, the unbalanced emotion, is fear, not irritation. Anyway, you know all of the synonyms, or you can look them up. Every one of these stressors, these imbalances, because they are stressors, these imbalances create this stress in us. And depending on how we deal with it, it can be either treating the symptom or treating the cause. So let me bring up my PowerPoint presentation, and I'll share this with you. Let's go to share screen, click there. Countdown, there it is. Well, I can see it. There we go. Now you can see it. Wonderful. So how do we transform emotional stress? Actually, any kind of stress, we can transform it. And of course, the question is, why are traditional methods not enough? Well, we all carry stress. The interesting thing about stress, it becomes normalized if it goes on long enough. If it's considered chronic, that's if it's been in existence for more than a year in the medical community. That's considered chronic. So if you've had, or I've had, certainly have, the same type of stress for more than a year, it has become normal. It's like part of us. We really don't notice it much. The challenge is, and I know the slide says unresolved emotional energy leads to imbalance. You might wonder if imbalance in one of the traditional Chinese five elements might create the stress. I believe it does, and I'd like for you to consider that. So I used to, and most people look for lasting relief. So, oops, yes, it did. Okay. Had to make sure the slide shift. So we need to understand, we need to go look deeper at stress. It's inner tension, and it can be physical, even though it's created emotionally. Have you ever tensed up? That's a physical response to a stress. It can show up as fatigue if it goes on long enough. Chronic fatigue syndrome. Ever wonder if that was caused by unmitigated stress? And anxiety, sadness, anger. Those are the three of the unbalanced emotions in the different three of the five traditional Chinese elements. The thing that I learned when I started studying stress is, number one, it can be chronic. So that would be like in the medical definition of going on for more than a year. It can be hidden. Most of it is. It's subconscious. We don't know it's there. Others may wonder, but, do they really know when we don't know? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And then we can mask it, and that's a survival mechanism. because we don't want others to know what's going on. And so there's many different ways to mask it. People, when they do know that there's something off in their lives, imbalanced, they may not think of stress, or they might. They sometimes turn to talk therapy. You can gain insights, but the shifts can be very slow. Medications, well, medications manage the symptoms. They don't reach the root causes. How about mindfulness and exercise? Those are supportive, but they're not deep enough. They don't go to the root. Self-help, do-it-yourself books, videos now, reels, they may ignore the heart and the soul. So we can get temporary relief, but that's not transformation, because the focus is on the symptoms, not the root imbalances or the causes of the imbalances, the causes of stress. Mind-based approaches miss the emotional, spiritual depth. Many techniques require years for results. So when we want to heal at the root level, I learned about Dr. and Master Sha years ago, 17 years ago. And he's a medical doctor, Western medical in China, graduated, I think, in 1976. And then later he became a traditional Chinese medicine doctor in both China and then in Canada. He's also a Tao grandmaster, the founder of Tao technology. And so an example of Tao technology is Tao song. And what I would like to do is give you a sample or an example. So let me shift. I'm going to have to come off of sharing the screen. There we go. And then go back over to here. And this is, I've got to open it up for you, don't I? Okay, so here we go. Got my sound turned on. And now optimize. It won't optimize. Okay. So here it comes. So this is Dr. and Master Sha. And he's singing. To close your eyes.
yo ya hey yo ya hey yo ya hey ya yo hey ya yo hey yo hey yo ya yo ya hey 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 ya yo ya yo ya hey.
Amazing to me. It's always amazing to listen to Dr. Master Sha's Tao song. It's, to me, it's transformative. And that's Tao technology. Transformative art is Tao calligraphy. Tao song is another one of the Tao technologies. So let me take you back to the slideshow, because there's more to come. So we just heard Tao song, and if you're watching the recording, if you can back it up, then you can click on this. If not, you can send me an email, and put my email address in the chat toward the end of this time. So we're talking about Tao technology, and what is Tao? Tao is the source of all life. It's not a belief system. It's a universal force. It's the energy, the frequency and vibration that creates everything. And Dr. Master Sha transmits Tao frequency so that we can transform at the root level. So Tao calligraphy, I mentioned, is a Tao technology. It's just amazing to watch him when he starts to draw or paint or write, however you think of it, a Tao calligraphy. He takes his brush, I'll use my pen here. He takes his brush and he holds it up and he connects. So remember that connection is one of the most important keys. We have to know what to connect with, in this case, Tao calligraphy. But then how do we connect to the Tao calligraphy? How do we connect to the Tao frequency, the vibration, the information, the message that's in each of the calligraphies? It's a field. Everything has a field. That's been discovered since back in the 1700s, when somebody over in Europe discovered that there was, when electrical current flowed, there was a field that was created. And there's many different kinds of fields. Everything has a field. I have a field. You have a field. Our devices have fields. And Tao calligraphy has a field that doesn't have any impurities. I do, you do, my computer, my laptop. Every once in a while, you may notice my son just texted me today, and he says, wow, my phone, you didn't get my text yesterday saying I wasn't coming home. No, he had been visiting and he didn't come home. And today I found out why. He flew somewhere, parked the car in somebody's friend of his garage, and the field in his phone quit working, no communication. Stress is when we don't have communication inside of us. So Tao technology uses source frequency and vibration. And here's a free video as an example. So I'm going to have to, I learned this. Let me close the sharing down and go back over here to this one. Yes, now I can open it. Wish there was a quick, easy way to do this. Okay, so this is called
Master Sha's spiritual healing defies everything you thought you knew about healing your body.
A lawyer has breast cancer come to liver, 80% the liver covered by cancer.
Before the healing blessings, my liver was 80% covered with cancer. I continued to do Tao Calligraphy Tai Chi 2 hours a day at home together with my husband. My MRI showed that I only had 1 dot of cancer left on the membrane of my liver. 1 dot. It was truly a miracle. 9 months later, after my trip to Hawaii, where I met Master Sha, I went back for my MRI in December 2019. This time, the result showed that all my cancer was gone. I never imagined that my life would be saved by calligraphy art.
How can it be possible?
Medicine is focused on the physical body, matter that we can both see and touch. The soul is neither of these. However, the soul is powerful. What if science could prove the existence of the soul?
Dr. Ruling, quantum physicist, suddenly she said, Master Sha, I can explain soul in scientific way. I was very interested. She said in quantum physics, there's a wave function. Wave function exactly explain the soul. So this smallest matter, they carry the field, they vibrate. In quantum physics teaches everything is a vibrational field. So therefore, when you chant vibration, it will push out, wash inside the negative information, energy, matter. This invisible power, light wash the whole body. So therefore, the key is information from the source.
According to the law of Shen Qi Jing, everything and everyone is made up of soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. Shen encompasses the soul, heart, and mind. Qi is energy, and Jing is matter. The soul is the warehouse where positive and negative information is stored. Our heart is the receiver which transmits the information to the mind. Our mind is the processor or interpreter, which in turn directs the flow of energy. This energy dictates the actions of matter. When connecting this law to what we now understand of vibrations through the body, we begin to see an information processing system that connects our body to our soul.
We release the energy. Meditation, you visualize on the knee, energy will go there. When energy go there, blood will follow. So matter will follow. So therefore, this is like an information system we share with humanity in Tao science. In spiritual realm, soul is the spirit. But in quantum physics and Tao science, soul is the information. They are the same. Soul is the information is the soul. So therefore, positive information causes great result for health, relationship, finances. When you hear negativity, you are affected. You transform your thinking. Then you jump in something, you make wrong decision, you speak wrong, you act wrong, so make mistakes. So therefore, everything starts from the negative thought. Please realize the information is positive or negative. We understand love. We understand angry. So that's different information. One is a positive, one is negative. Positive information bless life. We feel good. Negative information causes trouble. Therefore, we have to remove this, keep this more and more. Then your life is different.
every time I watch this, it's like, wow, Master Sha can explain this so clearly. So let me go back to my slides. And I've got a couple of more surprises for you. Go. Now let me show it to you. 3, 2, 1, bingo, there we go. So that's how Tao technology works. Positive information at the Tao level transforms negative information. One of the examples that I really like is, imagine that you have a glass of coffee. And so it's not, you can't see through it. It's not clear unless it's really weak coffee. So say you've got a glass of dark coffee. So set it in the sink underneath the faucet and turn the faucet on. Clear water is going to run into the coffee. That's why it's in the sink, because it's going to spill over. And as it's doing that, that coffee, the liquid in the glass, becomes lighter and lighter and lighter until there's no coffee left. You can see through it. So imagine, in this example, imagine that you have negative information in you. And so there's darkness in some areas. And if you're able to direct Tao frequency and vibration into that, it's like pouring water into a glass of coffee. Do it enough, and there won't be any coffee left. And for Carmen, for cancer, now doctors will never say you're cured, but they couldn't find any more dots on the MRI. So she went from stuck to cancer-free. She had stage 4 liver cancer. Yeah, and after Tao Calligraphy, the doctors say, well, there's no cancer detectable. Well, the liver cancer never came back. At least it has not yet. That was 2019, and I saw her earlier this year. Still no, the liver's fine. So that was transformation, much more than symptomatic relief. So this is an example of East meeting West, the Western methods versus Tao technologies, mind-based versus field-based. Everything has a field. Electric wire has a field around it. Our devices have a mixture of fields. And in the West, it's managing symptoms. I had to send my laptop back to the company that built it, and they took it apart, scrubbed it out, poured a lot of water in, or they didn't have Tao technology. They changed a few parts, sent it back to me, and it works now. They transformed the root causes at the physical level. Tao technologies transform at the matter, no. At the mind, no. At the information level, or the quantum level, or the source level, spirit, soul, many words. So I'd like to give you an example. This will be a Tao calligraphy. This is Da I, greatest love. And I'd like for you to imagine whatever it is, one thing that stresses you. What's your biggest stressor, if you have any that you're aware of right now? And then you can just breathe. It says tracing together. If you know how to trace it, wonderful, but don't need to. You can hold your hands out to the calligraphy. It's a field. Just breathe naturally. And again, it says gently trace. You don't have to if you don't know how. Just be aware. Imagine that you can tell your mind, dear my mind, I love you. On every in-breath, observe how I receive this fresh infusion of life force from Tao, from this calligraphy card. Da, I, greatest love. This is a Tao calligraphy card. This will be a one-time blessing. So if you watch this video again, you can remember, you'll be able to recall what you're experiencing, but it won't be the same. It's a one-time blessing. You can also chant. So this is what I think of as stacking. So we've got the Tao calligraphy, but we can add to it. We can add sound power. Da, I, da, I, da, I, da, I. If you know how, we can trace. The tracing goes up like this, down. This is da. This is a connecting line. This is I, or love. Da, I. So I'm tracing, chanting, and receiving with my eyes the frequency. Da, I. 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 And I'm noticing how relaxed I am. Even though there's a little bit of tension trying to use the mouse on my laptop to trace, still, I'm not very stressed. So if you're tracing, please trace, never stop in the middle. Please trace all the way to the bottom. And then we'll end this short blessing. What, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, something like that? This is equal to chanting by yourself for, let's see, how much was this particular one? For about 100 times 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes, because it's a very powerful calligraphy. All right, so let's say thank you to the Tao calligraphy and to Dr. and Master Sha for creating this, and to the Tao for bringing this Tao technology to us through Master Sha. So I'd invite you to reflect on your experience. My mind slowed down, and I feel very centered. I've been feeling centered from the beginning, but definitely centered, grounded. To me, that's the same. There may have been something that changed in your body or in your emotions. Last night, I got an email today. I was sharing a calligraphy with some people last night, and one woman had fallen 4 or 5 days ago, and her lower legs were covered with Band-Aids. And she said a couple of them had not closed up yet. That was last night. Today, she emailed me and she says, wow, I feel different. Last night, my arms and my elbows were popping and my neck. And today, those open wounds have closed. That's pretty amazing. So the experience, let me check in with you. What was your experience? Care to share anything? Please do. Others would be curious. And welcome, Glenda and Cindy. Hadn't noticed you come. I can't see who's here when I have the slideshow on. So you can either unmute or you can type in the chat room.
Thank you, Terry. I'll share.
Thank you.
I have had a really busy week, in fact, kind of a busy couple of months. And I have been noticing the stress rising. And when I was tracing today, it's just like instantly soothing. Like I immediately start tracing and I instantly feel soothed and remember that I have something that I can do to help myself. And I have something that is always available to me and can bring like instant relief. It's gotten to the point where it's like instant relief now. So thank you for sharing the Dai calligraphy and thank you for the teaching about stress. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Yeah, these tools are just amazing. Anyone else able to share? There's somebody who's posted. Let me see what that says. It says, Glenda says, hello. And suddenly just joined not long ago. As soon as I joined in the field, felt a sense of calm and peace. Thank you for sharing. Glenda may not be able to. So let me go, and I want to share a couple of more things with you. Go back to my slides. And I have to click on share. There it is. When I open up to see, I'm the only one who can see it unless I share it with you. So here it comes. Kabing. All right. So in 5 minutes, or in this case, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, when you feel stress, Tao technology could transform that stress. It can transform your life. For the person last night, overnight, and you would not believe, I thought of buying stock in a Band-Aid company. I'm joking, but she had a lot of Band-Aids on the right leg especially. And 2 of those wounds had not closed. Overnight, they closed. So the nice thing about Tao, the Tao field, whether it's Tao song, Tao movement, Tao water, Tao technology, Tao calligraphy, all we have to do is connect. And the Tao field will shift our field. It's like pouring clear water into a glass of coffee. You pour enough water in, you won't have any coffee left. You'll be able to see through the glass. And so if the coffee were the stresses in our field, and we pour enough Tao in, peace and clarity, they build over time. My experience was when I first met Dr. Sha and Master Sha, I had one of the specialists that I finally got to, one after another. He said, well, your systems are shutting down. That seemed quite serious. I can laugh about it now, but it's like systems shutting down. I didn't know what that meant, but it felt really serious. And then this good doctor, I don't know how long he took. It probably was only 30 seconds, but it felt like 10 minutes. And finally he answered, because I had asked, will I see my son graduate from high school? And he said, well, how long? I said, 18 months. And then that long pause. And he said, well, you may not see that. And that was the point when I quit worshiping medical doctors. I've already had, I think it was 5 already, who said that I did not have a disease, nothing in the physician's desk reference, which is a book, 2 inches thick, listing all the diseases that they may be thicker now. That was 17 years ago. So there wasn't any Tao technology back then. There was traditional Chinese medicine, Qigong, Tai Chi, and Master Sha was able to reverse my condition. When he began writing Tao calligraphy around 2012, 2013, he said something, because I already realized that there was an awful lot of negative information in my field. And he said, if you trace Tao calligraphy, it could increase the benefits 20 times. And I went, wait a minute, if I was chanting the mantra and then I go to tracing it, it goes from 1 minute equals 1 minute to 1 equals 20 minutes of tracing. Like, wow. And then it increased. So how can we clear in 5 minutes? If it's a gentle issue, if it's not that serious, let me share with you something that I was received when I was working with a client. How long ago? It was July of 2008. I remember that I went back and found the notes that I took with that client that day. So I invite you to close your eyes and focus on, just think of, imagine one stress in your life. And just hold the awareness of that. And then let's give a message to our mind. Dear my mind, I love you. I had never told my mind I love you. So if you haven't either, and you're wondering where we're going with this, just tell your mind, think of it. Dear my mind, I love you. Or to observe how my body breathes itself. Do a great job. Thank you. On every in-breath, dear my mind, just observe how my body breathes itself. Don't change anything. Thank you so much. And then on the exhale, dear my mind, I love you. Turn off fully and completely for the entire exhale. Rest and recharge. Thank you so much. And so we want to, and you don't need to use all the words once you have the feeling of it, but we have to give the mind, the mind is supposed to be our servant. Mine was not. So it took me about 3 months to master this. But in 5 minutes, dear my mind, I love you. On this inhale for this next few minutes, observe how my body breathes itself. Don't change anything, just observe. Thank you. And dear my mind, on every exhale for these few minutes, turn off fully and completely for the entire exhale, rest and recharge. Now we're going to give the mind a stronger, more powerful order. Dear my mind, I love you. On every inhale for these next few minutes, observe how my body receives a fresh infusion of life force with every in-breath. Thank you. So, dear my mind, on every inhale, observe how my body receives a fresh infusion of life force with every inhale. Thank you. And dear my mind, on every exhale, continue to turn off fully and completely for the entire exhale. Rest and recharge. Thank you so much. So this is the power of our mind. This is, you might say, also the power of Mother Earth and her air, because we're inhaling through the nose or through the mouth and exhaling, but we're adding an instruction to our mind. We're telling our mind what we want. If we don't do that, well, you've heard of monkey mind. Yeah. So I'm curious, what was your experience with breathing and telling your mind to observe how your body breathes itself? Anyone care to share? And you can post, you can write in the chat room if you're able to do that. Are you still doing the exercise? It's very calming. I had forgotten how powerful it was until last year. I had a really unusual, huge emotional stress pop up. It was so unexpected. And I just automatically said, dear my mind, I love you. Observe how my body breathes itself. Don't change anything, just observe. And on every exhale, dear my mind, turn off fully and completely for the entire exhale. Rest and recharge. And I had noticed, I had a clock with a second hand on it, and it was very interesting. It was something like 4 minutes and 48 seconds when I just went, oh man. And I realized that I was clear of whatever that was that had erupted in me. And in 4 minutes, because I'd been telling people for 15 years, you can transform a stress, a big one, in 5 minutes. And it was like I had forgotten. Absolutely, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. And mine was about a level 9 on a scale of 1 to 10. So someone posted, Holly said, "Thank you, Terry." My mind went quiet, and then she felt sleepy. So we usually know that sleepy, what was it we used to call it the hunda, the blurred condition, or going to sleep. Yeah. Somebody else has posted. No, it just hadn't turned off the little thing. So let me go back because I've got one more thing I want to show you in the slideshow, so it's still available. So I have to go over here. Where's screen share? There we go. Share, click on share, and 5, 4, 3, there it is. So 5 minutes. I call this Dear My Mind. 5 minutes, and you can transform that with the Tao calligraphies, or Tao song, or Tao dance. Less than 5 minutes, or you can transform more other things. So if you want more, you're not alone. I still want more. So I'm a Tao calligraphy light wall practitioner. If you're in the Portland metropolitan area, Portland, Oregon, there's Portland, England, there's Portland, Maine. There's actually 14 different cities named Portland in the United States. People from England must have liked that name. So if you're in the Portland, Oregon area, every Thursday night, I have a Tao calligraphy light wall session from 6 to 7:30 p.m. It's not online, it's in person. I also offer consultations, group sessions. I also have many Dr. and Master Sha's books, and I can guide you to local events, global events as well as the local ones, for those that are interested. And Holly, if you would put my email address into the chat room, if you'd, excuse me, if you'd like to connect with me, if you have a question, doesn't matter what it is. If you're curious about the books, I can only mail them. It doesn't make sense to mail them outside the United States because the mailing costs are too just prohibitive. The global events, many of them are free if you're not receiving the emails from USSC, the Master Sha's organization, then I can share those with you also. So you can transform, not just cope. Stress doesn't have to control our lives. 5 minutes. That was such a wake-up call for me. It's like, wow, 4 minutes and 48 seconds. Because I lost my own connection with it. I wasn't experiencing much stress. And then wham, and I remembered how powerful that little meditation is. That's not Tao technology. That's just using our mind. So real peace comes from within. And Tao technology, I love this concept. Somebody said, in fact, I was raised in the Christian church, and there's, I don't know if this was in the Bible or not, but I remember, don't hide your light under a bushel. Well, we all have that. In Christianity, it was called the spark of life. That's when the soul in that tradition comes. In other traditions, they have different concepts, but it's like something comes to us, to this physical fetus, and then boom, it becomes a soul. There's different beliefs about when it becomes a soul. Some say it's, when the egg and the sperm join. Others say it's not until it comes out of the womb, and everything in between. So that soul, that's our higher self, our original soul, many different terms. That's our light. And we're like a glass full of really thick coffee. We've got so much covering our light. So we can uncover it. So I'm Terry McGill. I thank you for joining. Yes, I'm certified by the Tao Academy. What's really important is stress doesn't have to control our lives. Real peace comes from within, and Tao technology is how we reconnect to our light. So what I'd like to do now is open up to anyone's questions. So if you have a question that you just thought of, or one that has just been burning a hole in your pocket for weeks, you can ask it now. You can, so that must be, there's one note, there's 4 notes there. Yes, email me right there. Yes. All right, well, I'm not seeing the other posts and nobody has unmuted. So thank you for joining tonight. This is on YouTube. And if you would like the recording so you can take advantage of the earlier part, especially if you didn't join until after the Tao Calligraphy blessing. It's a one-time blessing, but if you didn't join in time, you can have it again. Just email me. You see my name down the bottom left corner of the screen, Terry McGill, and my email address is my name at comcast.net, N-E-T. So thank you for joining tonight. I invite you back. Holly, do you remember when the next session is?
I believe the next session is on the 22nd, and I think we have somebody oh no, it's not the 22nd, I'm sorry, it's the 25th.
I was looking at my calendar.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's the 25th, we'll be back. And
we have a wonderful master teacher from British Columbia who's believes she'll be able to, she will have cleared her book processing, gotten it off to the publisher, and I'm looking forward. So thank you, Holly, and we welcome you all back next week. If you would like the YouTube recording, I'm going to convert this to YouTube from, because it's on my laptop. I just change it from Zoom expires. It just quits working. So does Facebook after about 30 days. So it'll only be available there. But if you'd like it to refer to or refer to others, wonderful teachings here. They aren't mine. They're Dr. Master Sha. So thank you all for coming. And thank you, Holly. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Sharon, for your assistance doing the background stuff. It'd be really difficult without y'all. And so until the next time, aloha, sayonara, ciao, adios.
Love you, Terry. Thank you. Love you, everyone.
love you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.